If it's Tuesday, that means it is the Slingshot Racing All-Star Race. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth tonight by Chris Smith, and we are bringing you something just a little bit different tonight. We've taken an off week from our regular point-paying races, and tonight we are bringing the Truck Series drivers and the Apex Energy Cup Series drivers together for an all-star event. We're getting ready to kick off that event here with a burnout contest in just a few minutes, but we are coming live to you from the Irwindale Speedway, about 27 miles outside of Hollywood. Short, tough track, half mile long, progressive banking. Chris, what can these drivers expect out of this all-star event tonight? Let's talk about our order of operations. What does the schedule look like for tonight?
Yeah, we're going to have
Go ahead.
Do we have a driver on track for our burnout competition?
We do not.
Okay, so the first thing on the schedule tonight is we have a burnout contest. The drivers are going to take to the track, and we have 5 drivers, and we'll throw that graphic up there here in just a second. That'll be followed by an all-star main event after that, and that is going to be some of our Cup Series winners, our Truck Series winners, top 10 in each series qualify. And at the halftime break of that, we will have an inversion. This could be anywhere from 5 to 15. Who knows what it's going to be, but there will be an inversion to try to keep these drivers on their toes tonight.
Yeah, and what that inversion looks like is these drivers, if, for instance, we draw the random number as 10, that means that the 10th place car, or does that mean the 10th place car or the 11th place car would be first, Chris?
That would be the 10th place car.
That would be the
10th
10th place car, correct. So that is what the inversion will look like tonight. We'll get to more of that details later, but right now we're going to go ahead and jump to Aaron Smith, our first contestant in the burnout competition as he hits the track. He's got 2 minutes. These drivers have 2 minutes to do anything they want to do on the track, and then we're going to allow you to vote, rating those drivers 1 to 10. So some wall contact early on for Aaron Smith as he likely sets up what he is going to do here.
Yeah, he's got 2 minutes here, and you got a lot of freedom here. Just hopefully he doesn't pop that engine. If he does, he can reset, but probably wants to keep that momentum going. See how long he can keep this slide going here. The biggest thing with this is kind of like if you've ever watched Monster Truck Freestyle, you want to keep your momentum up. You want to try to keep on moving, keep everything going. You don't want to stop. And Aaron's doing a really nice job of that. He's not stopping. He's keeping the car moving, keeping the momentum up. And if you had a seat down there in turns 1 and 2, he gave you a good show right there.
And we noticed him sliding around on the track just a little bit earlier for at least half a corner. Irwindale is known as the House of Drift, so maybe Aaron Smith paying a little bit of homage to those drift roots of Irwindale Speedway, looking at making some, man, that kind of looked like the body of a guitar there for a second.
It did. I think he's trying to get creative here, trying to do spinning around in reverse. He's going to get it back going here, line him back up. Yeah, if you've ever watched any type of Hollywood stunts on a racetrack, you've probably seen them at this track. You might not have known it was this track, but Hollywood performs a lot of stunts out here. They perform a lot of sort of action scenes, car scenes. If something is taking place at a racetrack, and he blows it up right there at the line.
Yep. And that had to be close to about 2 minutes, I would imagine. We just heard him say that he is done. So right now, viewers, we're going to put a QR code up on the screen for you to vote. If you're a Slingshot driver, we have posted that link to that poll in the general Discord. I'm going to try to post a link to the poll here as well.
And I guess that we gave Aaron Smith his own little music video as we had the intro music still playing. Sorry about that during his lap.
That might have been my fault. A little bit of issues, but hopefully we worked those out. And do we have another driver on the track right now? Are we?
Yeah, we have Scott Sobzak out here now. Oh, and he backs it in.
Now, drivers can get a new car. We did not have a rule that we did not have a rule preventing them from getting a new car and starting over. As long as they're within the 2 minutes, they are good. And he's in the grass doing some looks like some 1998 Daytona 500 donuts there.
Yeah, he's trying to light, and he gets him lit up here,
And both of these guys so far are previous winners in the Slingshot Racing League, so they've got experience doing burnouts. That shows you just how difficult it can be, especially in these newer cars that these guys are still learning to drive a little bit. These higher horsepower Gen 4 cars, not the easiest thing to do.
No, they're not. And, I turned some laps around here earlier in this car yesterday and today, and I couldn't get over, number one, how much fun they are to drive, but number two, how difficult they are to drive. And, it brought me back. I was like, okay, this is what a cup car is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy to drive. It's not supposed to be, match the gas. It's got a lot more power at your disposal now.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're in the chat on Twitch watching, let us know what you're thinking about these burnouts by commenting, but also we just threw a link in, a URL where you can actually vote and rate each of these burnouts. This latest driver is Scott Sobczak in the 81, and he concludes his run. So you can vote using that link in the Twitch and also the QR code that's going to appear on the screen. Next driver coming out is going to be Chase Berry in that number 5 as he is on the end of pit road getting ready to make his run. Chase is he's an interesting driver to watch. I'm curious how creative he's going to get and what his strategy might be here. Chris, are you in starting? What gear are you starting your burnout in? For those who are watching who might not know, what's that order generally look like?
I guess it just depends. Like right here, I'm probably going to start in first gear, obviously at the end of pit road, and I'm not sure what his strategy is going to be. Don't know if there's looking at the order right here, and I'm gonna see if anybody has gone out of order. Our next one in line is supposed to be Tony Hilbrun's, but Tony is parked right there, so waiting on Chase to make his lap here. I'm probably starting in first gear, and depending on how much momentum I build up, how fast I'm going. If I'm in the middle of a drift, here's Chase rolling right here.
He's going right for it, not wasting any time.
This is a reverse lap right here. Leaving some marks on the track. Not really making any smoke.
No smoke. He's just drawing right now.
Of course, it could be a situation where the smoke is showing up on his end, but it's not showing up on our end here. Let's see if he kicks it in first gear here to try to... Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes. So he's going very classic, and he's going to hang it out here and see how long you do a Kevin Harvick style burnout.
I think this is what he wanted to do before. Yeah.
Had a hard time getting that smoke going.
Yeah, and there it is. That looks good. I think it's a situation possibly where where maybe he sees the smoke on his end, but it just doesn't quite show up. Oh, he's damaged it. Come on, yeah, run her out. Oh, there she goes. She's done. She done blown up.
So that's definitely part of the challenge here is doing it and taking care of the car at the same time. It's almost impossible. Drivers do have 2 minutes, but even within that 2-minute window, these engines can expire really quickly. Tony Hilbrun's in the 92 is going to be the next car to hit the track. So we're going to see we got 2 drivers remaining, both the 92 and the 99 of Tony Hilbrun's and Rhett Tucker, respectively.
Yeah, we'll see if Tony looks like he's going to roll here. That's good. So we'll see what Tony can do. And those of you that usually tune in on Wednesday nights, Tony Hilbrun's is the voice of the Apex Energy Truck Series alongside Ryan O'Hara. And it looks like Tony is staging and he's ready to go. And Tony has been very close to winning some of these
Man,
Apex Energy
so
Cup
close.
Series
So
races
close.
this
It's
season.
hurt.
Yeah, maybe he can. Maybe he can get a little bit of redemption tonight to make up for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, that $15 for the burnout contest would feel good, but I tell you, that $70 for winning the main tonight would probably feel a whole lot better and make all those losses maybe sting just a little bit less as we see that 92 roll off the pit road. Turning around the backstretch here. And you can see the backstretch littered with all of those skid marks and all those tire marks. Tony having a little bit of trouble. He might be taking that on the apron. I'm wondering, everyone is stuck to that side of the track. I don't know if there's a particular reason why everyone's stuck to the back stretch or not, but that seems to have been the most popular place. I think Aaron Smith might have made a trip around the track. But right now, Tony Hilbrand's on track, the 4th out of 5 drivers, to make their attempt to do some burnouts here. I'd imagine he's got about a minute or less left on the clock.
Yeah, we'll see if he can build some momentum here.
And by the way, SM Racing 42, if you're still watching, we appreciate your follow. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Absolutely. He's trying to kick it sideways right here to give the fans in the grandstands a good show, but he's got to light them up backwards now, and
you got 20 seconds left on the clock. Tony Hilbrand says 20 seconds left. He's going to make one. Oh, and he walls it down the front stretch. You're going to see how long you can take it. Nope.
One thing that you got to keep in mind also is that you have, the time to get it done, but you also got to make sure that you don't destroy your engine in the process.
All right, and the final driver to take their shot at this burnout contest, see what they can do, is the 99 of Rhett Tucker. It's looking like he's headed out onto the track right now.
And Rhett's always, he's won his slingshot race last week at Talladega in the truck series in an exciting last lap. That was a great battle between him and Shane Bradshaw coming to the line. And we'll see what Rhett can do tonight with this Mopar Dodge.
Absolutely. So if you haven't been voting, go. We posted a link in the Twitch chat. We've also got a link for our Slingshot drivers to vote. Post in the Discord. There's a QR code on the screen right now that you can vote and rank each one of these drivers' burnouts, or rate each one of these drivers' burnouts. Give them a 1 through a 10. 10 obviously being the best. Tucker's going to get rolling here in just a minute. Final driver for this Slingshot Racing League All-Star Race Burnout Contest. As a reminder, the winner is going to take home $15 based on the vote by drivers and viewers. So getting your vote in is important. As Rhett Tucker hits the backstretch, here we go. This is going to be a slightly different approach. He's going to take it down into 3 before he spins it around. I think he kept it off the wall there.
No, but I like the fact that he, got some momentum going, got the car going fast. Oh, yeah, this is a little bit different. Oh, no!
Yeah. He almost had it for a second.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll reset here, or if he's just going to...
I think he might.
He might have ended it right there. We'll keep an eye out for him, and maybe he'll show back up here. But that might have been it.
So I think what we just saw is a DQ based on him going backwards. I don't think we've seen that all night, have we?
Oh, here he is. He's back out.
They're going to give him another shot. They're going to give him another shot here.
Good.
They're going to give him another shot. That's the only fair thing to do.
Give the people what they want.
I'm glad that was going well. I'm glad we were able to get that figured out. Just as a heads up, iRacing does have code that if you go backwards for a period of time, I don't know if it's based on a distance or time, but it does automatically DQ you. But we got that cleared. Rhett Tucker heads back onto the track, and it looks like he's trying his hand at a fat drift at the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway. So far, he keeps it off the wall, does a nice little spin around.
Yeah, a lot of these boys probably haven't been in this car yet since it was updated, so there's a lot of monster power right here, a lot of, power to control. Probably haven't done too many burnouts in it. He's going to kick it out right here. I like what I'm seeing, though. I'm liking the effort.
Look at the drift. We've seen more speed from that 99 car tonight, I think, in this burnout contest than we saw from the other 4 cars. So look at that, barely missed the wall. I felt like there could have been like a Coke can on the wall that he might have been able to hit.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going after that drift vibe tonight in this burnout contest. Is Rhett Tucker in that number 99 car. And I believe he is at the end of his run. Trying a couple other things real quick, but he's gotten the 20-second warning for sure.
Oh, tags the wall right there, but it's been a really nice run for Rhett. We'll see how the votes all shake out.
Oh, he's just now hitting his 20 seconds, so he's got a little bit more time. I think they reset him completely.
Make the most of it.
Yeah. Oh, has he got another car out on the track right now?
Yeah, the 94 is out here.
2 cars. So the addition of a prop car. We never told drivers they couldn't do it. So not a bad idea. I give him a pretty high score on creativity there.
Yeah, that's I like what I see right there. That was was a very entertaining run.
So we'll give a second for the votes to come in, and we'll go ahead in just a minute. I think I'll probably pull Sam up into the booth and let him know who won so he can share that information with the drivers. That sound good to you, Chris?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so I'm looking at the average scores right now. Still a couple votes coming in. All right, with a 7.9 average. This is out of, looks like we had about 33 different votes come in on this tonight. With a 7.9 average, Rhett Tucker is the winner of the burnout contest. We'll go ahead and pull Sam Maxwell into the booth to let him know that he can let Rhett know that he is the official winner. So let's pull Sam, our race controller, in. Sam, this is Ellis and Chris up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Sure do, guys. What's up?
We do have a winner for you. The winner with a 7.9 out of 10 average on 33 votes is Rhett Tucker. So you can go ahead and let him know that on that final run, he won.
Awesome. I will let him know when we get to the server. Awesome. Great. That's fantastic, guys.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we did just finish our burnout contest. 5 drivers took the track to see who could produce the best smoke show at the House of Drift here at Irwindale Speedway outside of Los Angeles. Rhett Tucker carried speed through several corners, Chris, and fans thought he had the best show tonight. So Rhett Tucker claims $15 in that burnout contest. Last but certainly not least for that 99 car out there, Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations to Rhett. This is his, I guess you could say this is 2 wins in a row for him. He was our last Slingshot winner at Talladega in the Truck Series, and here he is picking up the victory in the burnout competition. I was just looking for Rhett, and I don't know if I really see him in the Discord. We'll see if we can get a word with him, but I don't really see him. We might be able to get a word with him at the conclusion of our main event tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, we are hearing from a couple drivers, Chris. Interesting to note that there does seem to be a burnout glitch on these Gen 4 Cup cars where drivers are seeing the smoke, but it is not as clear
Yeah.
to those in the session itself.
Yeah,
So
that's
just to
what
be
I was
aware.
fearful of.
Yep, if some of these drivers looked a little light on smoke, it certainly wasn't for the lack of smoke. It was appears to be a glitch on the iRacing end, but still a great job by all 5 of those drivers, putting on a great show tonight. And congratulations to Aaron Smith, Rhett Tucker, Tony Hilbrans, Chase Berry, and Scott Sobzak, all on a great job. Well done tonight. But Rhett Tucker takes home that crown as the Burnout champion tonight. So what's going to happen here in just a few moments, Chris and I are going to step away. We're going to play just a couple of ads. We're going to get our next session going for the All-Star main event tonight. 60 laps with a halftime. And at that halftime, we will announce a random inversion, meaning some of the leaders will be forced to go to the back of the pack, and we'll re-rack them for a second set of 30 laps. And the driver on top of the end is going to claim $70 tonight at the end of the Slingshot All-Star race. So we'll go ahead and do that now, Chris. And thanks for tuning in so far. We'll be back just probably in about 2 or 3 minutes for the main event. How do we get these one-of-a-kind amazing trophies? Well, we were fortunate to find UD Awards when we started our league. We reached out and we connected with Christopher, and we got started designing these one-of-a-kind works of art. The process was easy from start to finish. After just a few revisions, we finalized each one of them, and the team at UD got to work building each trophy from scratch. They're a small team, but they've got the ability to do just about anything your brain can imagine. And don't worry, if you're not an artist, they've got an entire catalog of unique trophies in pretty much any material you can imagine. Wood, acrylic, glass, and in the case of last season's trophy, metal. The best part, they're affordable. If you're looking for a trophy for your event or league, the choice is simple. UD Awards can give you exactly what you want. Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta. How do we get these one-of-a-kind amazing trophies? Well, we were fortunate to find UD Awards when we started our league. We reached out and we connected with Christopher, and we got started designing these one-of-a-kind works of art. The process was easy from start to finish. After just a few revisions, we finalized each one of them, and the team at UD got to work building each trophy from scratch. They're a small team, but they've got the ability to do just about anything your brain can imagine. And don't worry, if you're not an artist, they've got an entire catalog of unique trophies in pretty much any material you can imagine. Wood, acrylic, glass, and in the case of last season's trophy, metal. The best part, they're affordable. If you're looking for a trophy for your event or league, the choice is simple. UD Awards can give you exactly what you want.
Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics, from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta.
All right, you are looking live at the Irwindale Speedway in California, right about 27 miles from Hollywood, folks. Welcome to the Apex Energy Slingshot Racing All-Star main event. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been watching since the Burnout contest earlier, we appreciate you sticking around. My name is Ellis Thomas. I'm joined in the broadcast booth tonight by Chris Smith. And hey, we just saw an awesome Burnout contest, Chris. Rhett Tucker took home the victory with some fat drifts around these corners, carrying a lot of speed. These drivers are going to be carrying a good amount of speed through these corners tonight. It is a half-mile track, but it has a lot of nuance. Progressive banking on the track is going to allow maybe some multiple lines to come in. In practice, we've seen drivers running a couple different lines. This is going to be an interesting race tonight. So let's talk about who's going to be in the race and how that was determined. At the beginning of the year, we started formulating an idea for how we would basically qualify drivers for the All-Star race. And what we determined is we were going to do a combined All-Star race between the Apex Energy Cup Series and the Apex Energy Truck Series. We'd bring our best drivers from both series together in one night, and we included all winners, and that includes a couple previous winners that are here tonight, including Scott Tompkins, who ran with us last season, is going to try his hand to see if he can claim a victory tonight. So we included all former Slingshot race winners. We also took the top 10 from both series points as well. And that is the basic formula we use to get our drivers in the race tonight. We've got a couple other drivers that will be joining us. We opted not to have a All-Star Open tonight just because we had a little bit fewer drivers than we expected. But they're going to let these 17 drivers duke it out tonight on the track for 60 laps. We're going to split the race up, 30-lap segments. At the end of the first 30 laps, we're going to have a halftime break. Drivers will be allowed to make non-competitive pit stops. And then we're going to unveil an inversion number. What the inversion means is we'll take whatever number we've drawn, and that car will become the leader. So, for instance, if it's the 10th place car at the halfway break, the 10th place car will then become the leader. And that is going to be interesting to see, Chris, tonight, how much that upsets the field in terms of our front runners getting sent back to the back of the pack, because we're going to see a charge through to the front for those final 30 laps. How hard are you driving tonight if you're going after $70, Chris? How's tonight different than a regular season race?
Well, you can just let it all hang out tonight. You don't have to worry about points. You don't have to worry about ruffling any feathers. You might have to worry about ruffling some feathers if you want to race these guys for the championship cleanly, but you don't have to worry about points. There's not as much to lose tonight because of that. $70 on the line is a lot of money. I'm probably going to maybe think about doing some things that I don't necessarily always do. I might rub somebody a little bit, might race somebody a little bit harder, use somebody up to get that $70. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see some tempers and some people that are not too happy with each other by the end of this thing.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a lot more beating and banging going on tonight. As these drivers head into a lone qualifier session, they get 2 laps, and this will set the official running order, the starting lineup rather, for the All-Star main event. We're just looking at Chris Pierce and a couple other cars sitting on pit road. I am interested to see maybe these drivers that we have normally seen as pretty calm, pretty collected drivers, such as Chris Pierce. Does tonight he kind of let his hair down just a little bit? Based on some conversations with him, I feel like that's something I wouldn't be surprised to see happen. Someone like Chris Pierce, and maybe even Johnny Rapp, who we know we've named him Gentleman Johnny. Does he put the bumper to some guys tonight in a way that we normally wouldn't see him? I think the answer is probably going to be yes, as we get our first qualifying laps here out on the track.
It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see some people maybe do some moves that are a little bit uncharacteristic of how they normally drive, and who knows what might happen as we see Paul Thomas, one of our Apex Energy Truck Series drivers, gets a little bit loose off turn 2, but he's gonna reset here after his first lap. Aaron Smith has set the mark at an 18.518. It's just something about that yellow car, number 1. When it's all taped up, it just looks fast.
It does look fast, and here's the deal. We'll say it again. If Aaron Smith is running in the lead at halftime, I think there's a pretty good chance he's not going to be in the lead at the start of the second half of this race, Chris. And how difficult is it going to be to pass cars on this track, particularly, a good handful probably over the course of just 30 laps? This is only a half-mile track. These drivers are probably going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
Yeah, they probably will, and it's going to be hard to pass. If you watch the Cup Series race at IRP a couple of weeks ago, you saw a caution-free race. It was a great race, but it was very hard to pass that night, and I think that you're going to see the exact same thing happen here tonight. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for these tracks have some similar characteristics to them in the sense that the fast line, is a little bit unorthodox. It's not the typical fast line. It's going to be interesting to see if we do see as much green flag passing. This is one of those tracks where you kind of got to think about if you're going to make the move or if you want to wait to make that move for just a little bit, as looks like the only car that we've got looking like he wants to make a run is that number 30, that Kitty Cat Coin Chevy of Justin Gann, one of our Cup Series winners this season.
And he is one of those aggressive guys that I would not be surprised even early on, not be too shy with using that bumper. Justin Gann, some other guys I might have in mind, Rye Jones, Patrick Colby. We've seen him really turn up the aggressiveness this season in the Apex Energy Truck Series and Cup Series. So I'll be keeping my eyes on those guys tonight. And another thing I was thinking about, Chris, is you mentioned maybe waiting a little bit. How late do you wait? Are you talking about the last lap? Because, if it's me, I'm afraid unless you put the bumper to someone really good and put them up into the wall, they might have another crack at you a couple laps later.
Yeah, if you're going to put the bumper to somebody, you need to make sure that you get gone so that they don't have a chance to repay that favor. But, yeah, that's something that you got to keep in mind. I'm probably not waiting. There's no games that you can play because we have not spun for that number yet. We don't know what the inversion is. It could be anywhere from 5th place to 15th place. So it kind of makes it to where, you might decide that you want to run, within that range, but you can't, you can't try to play that numbers game. It'd be a little bit different if the inversion number was already known, but we don't know what it is tonight.
Absolutely. We'll inform the race controller, then he'll inform the drivers right at the halftime. So it's going to be a mystery up until the last minute. So there is no game playing. There's no calculations that can go into this race. You just got to run as fast as you can all night. These drivers are going for $70 at the end of the evening. And we've got about 25 seconds left in qualifying. And as you mentioned, we only had, let's see, I'm looking at the chart right now. Scott Sobczak is going to be first. Am I looking at the right numbers at 18,485? Or did anyone actually?
That is correct, but we got Rhett Tucker coming to the line right here. We'll see what Rhett can do. He's only going to get time for one lap. Unfortunately, our burnout winner is not going to get a chance for the second lap as the clock is going to expire on him, and he's going to roll off 13th.
Absolutely. So, again, Scott Sobczak, he's been fast all season. He claims another pole as we get ready to start this first annual Slingshot Racing All-Star main event. So get these drivers on track. They'll have their little pre-race meeting with the race director, Sam Maxwell. And while they're doing that, we are going to actually bring you through the grid. We'll talk about where these drivers are starting tonight, if I can get my grid working. Just a second. There we go. So, starting on the pole out front, Clean Air in front of him, Scott Sobczak in that 81 Square D Ford Taurus. Aaron Smith, second place, starting on the outside of Scott. Third, Andrew McGonigal, a recent Truck Series winner, looking to see if he can extend his luck into the All-Star race tonight in these new Gen 4 Cup cars. Austin Greer, great qualifying run for the driver of the number 45. It's good to see him up front tonight. Tony Hilbrins will be starting 5th on the inside of row 3, and to his outside, Josh Ward, Truck Series winner. Starting 7th inside of the 4th row, Justin Gann in that Kitty Cat coin car. He's a Cup Series winner all the way back in Atlanta. Rye Jones starting to his outside. Lee Campbell, great qualifying run, starting in the 9th spot tonight. So we'll see how many gold coins he can collect. If he can collect all 70 of those gold coins, I think that would make his night if he can win this race. Johnny Rapp starting in the 10th position. Johnny's going to be a guy we're keeping our eye on, see how fast he can move through the field. He'll have some speed tonight. Paul Thomas, great start for him, starting in the 11th spot. Brady Powers starting 12th. Rhett Tucker, our burnout contest winner, starting back in the lucky number 13th position. Scott Tompkins, a former Slingshot winner, has not raced with us this season, but he is the race director for the Apex Energy Truck Series. Does a great job, so we're glad to see him out on the track tonight. Chase Berry starting 15th. Chris Pierce, who does all of our graphics for Slingshot Racing, he'll be starting 16th. And then starting last, Nathan Rogie, but I'm sure he's one of our more aggressive drivers. He'll be on the hunt tonight and probably not shy of using that bumper, so we'll be on the lookout for him as well as these cars get ready to roll. Chris, what are these drivers thinking in these final seconds before they get ready to come to the green?
They're probably thinking, oh my gosh, please don't let this be a caution fest, because caution laps are not going to count tonight with that non-competitive pit stop on lap 30 at the halftime break at the inversion. They're also probably got that square on their minds, thinking about, hey, What are we gonna do? What's this inversion gonna look like? Is it gonna be 5th place? Is it gonna be 15th place? Anywhere in between? Lots of questions. We're gonna have them answered here shortly.
Absolutely. With a short track, the pace car takes 2 laps around, but he's going to be getting ready to pull that car off this time, give Scott Sobczak the commanding position to bring these drivers to the green flag as they roll into turn 3. 17 drivers will be starting tonight, taking their crack at $70. And it all starts right now. The Apex Energy Slingshot Racing All-Star Race green flag. Aaron Smith bringing in a head of steam into the first corner. We got a couple cars on the wall. They're going to hang on to it. Johnny Rapp and Rye Jones look like they're wrecking behind coming into turn 3. I'm not sure if we've got a caution yet on the track. It looks like we might have avoided a caution.
Yeah, they spun to the inside, it looked like, so no caution flies. Hopefully those guys can get rolling and keep those cars on the lead lap here as Aaron Smith used that outside lane. The outside lane here is pretty dominant, and our leader, Scott Sobczak, elected to start on the bottom. That might be something that, comes into play a little bit later on when it comes to lane choice for the leader.
Absolutely. As we see Aaron Smith in the lead, Scott Sobczak in second, Andrew McGonigal sticking tight in 3rd place after starting there. Tony Hilbrun's moving up a spot into 4th. Behind him, Austin Greer in that Dale Jr. All-Star Game Budweiser special paint scheme running in the 5th position. Justin Gann in 6th, and we got a battle for the 6th position going on between Gann and Josh Ward. Josh Ward jumps to the inside in that number 93 Texaco Haviland Dodge. And you can see Justin making it tough on the outside. Now they essentially switch lines. Ward opting to maybe see if he can carry momentum off the top of that corner. But it's going to be to no avail as he slots right back into the 7th position. Further back in 8th place, we got a battle between Brady Powers and Rhett Tucker for the 8th position. Tucker going inside.
Slide job. He's going to make a slide job. Oh, it's not going to work. Not going to work.
That was tight.
Yeah. I tell you, in my time with these cars yesterday, one thing that I noticed around this track is these cars are extremely tight when you try to make a move like that. They do not turn very well. There's a lot of understeer, and you can see Rhett Tucker's, he tried to make that slide job work, but it was not sticking. The front tires were not biting.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if we went on board, we would see him turning that wheel, but that car was going straight forward. Those tires were pointed straight into the wall there. But he looks to continue. He looks like he's still not too far off the pace. That last lap, he ran a 19.0. Aaron Smith ran an 18.8. So he's still within 0.2 of the leader, so it doesn't look like there's going to be too much damage to that car. Hey, but a car I do want to keep an eye on right now is the number 16 of Scott Tompkins. He is up to the 10th position after starting back in 14th. So we got a handful of drivers that have made their way up through the field. We got a car on the wall. I think that might have been Paul Thomas. Looked like for a minute, but he gets it back going. Scott Tompkins doing a great job for us under race control in the Apex Energy Truck Series this season. He looks to continue to build on these 4 positions that he's gained so far. We are on lap 10 of 60. We're 1/3 of the way through this first half of the All-Star main event.
Yeah, Scott Tompkins had his hands full this season in the Truck Series. But yeah, as you mentioned, battle going on for the top spot as Sobczak has closed up on Smith.
Yeah, and at this point, when we talk about the Apex Energy Cup Series, we're often finding ourselves, Chris, talking about tire management. Is that really so much a factor tonight? There are these guys just going flat out as much as they can at this point.
There's probably a lot more, there's probably a lot less pressure on these guys to save tires tonight. You just got to make it to lap 30, and I'm assuming that everybody is going to take 4 tires since that is a non-competitive pit stop. The only question comes in at, like if you decide to, if there's another caution between now and then, if you decide to, take tires then or not. But what I'm seeing right now out of Sobczak is, kind of what we expected to see tonight. The groove, I like to think of the racetrack is it's really just above that dash line. I don't think that there's really anything else that anybody can do in order to make up ground. both these guys look like their cars are turning really nice. If I were to bet, I'd say that these two cars right here, along with several others probably, have got that rear brake dialed back as far as they can, as far as they're comfortable with.
We got a spin. Rhett Tucker gets turned by Brady Powers in turn 3 there. This will bring out the caution. 15 laps in. We're about halfway through this first half of the All-Star race. Sorry to cut you off there, Chris.
You're good. Yeah, we'll take a look back and we'll see what might have happened here with Rhett Tucker here.
Looked like Brady just slid in a little bit hot. Maybe wasn't anticipating a Rhett being as slow as he was through that corner. We know Rhett had some damage earlier.
Yeah, Rhett was trying to make the pass right here, slide job, and that's the thing. Like, that's not really a slide job. That was more, you know, he was just trying to, looked like he was just trying to take that spot right there. Slipper, yeah, just a little bit of contact, but yeah. It looks like they got by with it okay, and everything's going to work out just fine.
Yeah, these things happen. That's one of those things that we're not surprised to see happen in a short track race where $70 is on the line to the winner. And it looks like we're going to have some pit stops going on right now. These drivers are in search of tires. It's pretty much the entire field outside of Saab, Zach McGronigle, and Smith all pit. That's an interesting strategy, Chris. Why do you think these three guys stayed out? You think they're that comfortable with their tire wear and their cars at this point?
I just think they don't want to get back in the scrum. I think they might have been back there, and they might be thinking, hey, I don't want anything to do with that anymore. I would just much rather go ahead and just stay up at the front, try to make it to this lap 30 caution that is going to be non-competitive. We know that the lineup's going to be based on the inversion. So, interesting call by Aaron Smith right here. Hopefully Aaron doesn't get tore up back here in the pack, along with a few other guys that were near the front.
Yeah, this is going to reset the field. It's going to definitely give it a new complexion from what it was when we saw that caution right before it came out. We got several drivers that looked like who came in there. I'm counting.
And one thing I want to mention before we go green.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Ellis. Before we go green, Sobzak is taking the top this time. He's on the top. He learned his lesson from the initial start.
Absolutely. And we're green. Looked like McGronigle spun his tires there on the inside. Sobzak to the top. Rhett Tucker right behind him. Oh, McGronigle gets him inside again. He spins, but he's going to be off the track. He's going to hit the wall. But it looks like we're going to stay under green flag for that single car incident with a McGronigle who is really struggling.
Caution's
Yellow is out now, though.
Yeah, I think that there was a separate incident. It looks like the 87 of Nathan Rogie. We're going to go back and see if we can take a look at what happened to him. Oh, he started to lose it off of 2, it looked like, and fought it in a tank slapper. We'll see if we can go back here. Yeah, looks like he's in the wall here in 1 and 2. And gets away from him on the straightaway. I think he was just in a tank slapper. Just got a little bit behind on the steering and looped her around. But not too much damage. He should be all right to get back going here.
Yeah, and honestly, the design of the track, if that had just been a non-open segment of the track, he probably would have hit the wall and been able to keep on going there. But where he hit it kind of made matters a little bit worse for Nathan. Hey, before that, Nathan was moving up through the field. I think he had gained about 6 positions. He was one of our biggest movers of the entire race so far. So we'll see if he's able to get that repaired and get back on the track, but I think he's going to take some heavy damage. I think Andrew McGronigle in that 94 took some heavy damage in that initial incident before we saw that Nathan Rogie spin. So right now, we are on lap 16 of the Slingshot All-Star race. Reminder to viewers, we will have a caution at lap 30 for halftime, and we will have an inversion of the field based on a random number drawn by Chris and myself. So we'll pass that along to the race controller, and Sam will line them up after the halftime. But right now, re-racking the field, my numbers are going fast and furious with all these drivers pitting as we get gridded back up for the restart here in just a couple laps.
Yeah, I think part of it is also the caution laps not being counted kind of throws the running order a little bit wacky.
Scott Sobczak is your leader. Rhett Tucker remains in second. Justin Gann is in, Justin Gann was in third for second. And then Aaron Smith in fourth. Austin Greer in fifth. Tony Hilbrun's in sixth. Actually, that's not Aaron Smith. That is Scott Tompkins, I believe, in the fourth spot. That yellow car, it threw me. Smith is back, mired in ninth place. That's going to be a space to keep an eye on, folks, as we get ready for the restart here. Tucker and Sobczak are really close. Sobczak is the control car. He takes the green flag. They head down into turn one. Rhett Tucker's got to be really careful, Chris. We've seen that car pushing all night long. We're seeing a lot of tight race cars out there on the track right now.
Yeah, we saw a lot of contact going into turn one. A lot of people got jammed up into each other. They kept it straight, though.
They are looking for a wreck there back in the back of the field, about 7th or 8th place.
Yeah, it looked like Austin Greer, Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith trying to make this extreme inside work. That's hard as they're 3 wide.
And he pulled it off as he pulls, for a second. It looks like Austin Greer might challenge back there for that 7th position. He's going to defer, though, to Hilbrun's and Aaron Smith. Hey, thanks for watching the chat, everyone. Looks like we've got an Austin Greer fan out there. We've got an Andrew McGonigal fan watching. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, Sobczak is in the lead, but further back, we've got some really great battles going on right now. Aaron Smith still struggling to get by his teammate Tony Hilbrun's and Justin Gann for the 4th position. But Smith working that inside line, getting closer to that rival yellow car. Scott Tompkins in 3rd place.
Yeah, and, Aaron got exactly what he wanted right there. You have to be so disciplined down there on the bottom, as Scott Tompkins looked like he rode that wall through 3 and 4. He's uptight against
it again here. Yeah.
Oh, man, as Aaron Smith got into it, I think, as well.
And right now, it's who can get closest to the wall and not hit it. We see Aaron Smith kind of cut back down and see if he can get underneath that 30 car of Justin Gann. Carries a head of steam into that corner.
Yeah, if you haven't rubbed up the right side of your car by the end of this thing, you just ain't trying hard enough. I bet that you're going to see most all of them rubbed up before the night's over.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. Keeping our eye on a couple cars right now, looking at who's moved through the field. Rhett Tucker, we know, started 11th. He was even involved in an incident and is up to 2nd. Scott Tompkins moved up 11 spots after starting in the 14th slot. And Chase Berry also moved up 6 positions. He is now in the 9th spot. He's a guy that I don't want to sleep on tonight, Chris. I think by the end of the race, he will find a way to be up at the front as we see this battle for 5th, 6th place getting really tight. Scott Tompkins, Aaron Smith, Justin Gann, Josh Ward, Tony Hilbrun. You couldn't throw a blanket on these guys. It would cover every single one of these guys right now.
Yeah, it really could. And right there where Josh Ward is running, that's tough sledding down there, but his car looks like it's working real nice. You got to be disciplined.
Justin Gann loose off the corners. He's going to hit the wall hard. We are going to stay under green for the time being on lap 25. We got about 5 laps till we hit this halfway point.
Just stay on the lead lap.
Cannot come soon enough for Justin Gann, trying to stay on the lead lap here right now, but Tony Hilbrun's got a little bit loose there. Right now, that 16 of Scott Tompkins is, I'm not going to say he's holding these guys up, but he's clogging up the fastest part of the racetrack for sure, which he's using all the space he can.
Yeah, and he's on a little bit older tires than a lot of these guys that are around him right here, and so he's just looking to maintain right here, keep that track position. Who knows what this inversion's going to look like? I wonder if we're going to see anybody try to do anything crazy. I don't think that we can, because I don't think they know what it's going to be.
Almost a wreck back there, it looked like. Lee Campbell and Nathan Rogie into the wall. That is not going to bring out a caution on lap 28. Those guys get it going. Man, we've had our fair share of on-track incidents that have been out of the racing groove and not brought out the caution, but that looks like that was a hard hit for Nathan Rogie with just about 2 laps before we get to the halfway point here, Chris.
Yeah, and Scott Sobczak's going to come around. This is going to be him coming basically to the white of this original stage right here. He is going to take it right here, and what's going to happen is that we will see a caution that gets waived as Tony Hilbrun's and Josh Ward are battling it out right here, as I think that Scott Tompkins might have ran into some trouble. It's like he's got it going, though.
Flag.
There it is right there.
Caution is out. All the cars have taken, crossed the line on the 30th lap. We are going to take a halftime break here just for a couple minutes. These drivers will be taking a non-competitive pit stop. What that means is everyone is going to be coming in for tires. And then our race director, Sam Maxwell, we re-grid these guys based on the inversion. So they are getting ready to be told about this inversion. We'll wait to announce the inversion to our audience until we're sure that Sam has been able to communicate that to the drivers.
As the pace car is going to pick up Scott Sobczak. And what the inversion is anywhere from 5th place to 15th place. If that random inversion turns out to be 5th place, then 5th goes to 1st and 1st goes to 5th. If it turns out to be 15th, then 15th goes to 1st and 1st goes to 15th. And any number in between those.
So these drivers are going to come in for their non-competitive pit stop, so they are not worried about speed, how fast they get off pit road. They'll all make their pit stop, and then our race director will re-grid these drivers for the second half of this race. Chris, that first 30 laps went by a good bit quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah, it did, and, other than the 2 cautions, I got a little bit nervous when that second caution came out right after the first one, but, thinking this, could turn into a little bit of a disaster, but it didn't. I should have known better with our Apex Energy Cup Series drivers and Truck Series drivers who do a really, really good job as these guys make their pit stop right here, and then we shall see what the running order is going to look like at the conclusion of it.
All right, so he has just announced it to the drivers. We are inverting 8 cars tonight. The invert number is 8. That was chosen at random. So that now means that the 8th place car will become first place. Now, I didn't have a snapshot of what that 8th place car was.
I know who it was.
Who was it?
I'm pretty sure it is the number 14 of Lee Campbell that will be starting first.
All right. The Sonic the Hedgehog car going to be starting up front. It does look like the race director has moved him up to the front here. So this is going to be interesting. We got some drivers that we're not used to seeing running up first, Chris. They're going to be starting up front. And it looks like, based on what we're seeing now, it's going to be the 14 car of Lee Campbell, the 45 of Austin Greer, the 16 of Scott Tompkins, the 93 of Josh Ward, the 92 of Tony Hilbruns. Aaron Smith looks like he's going to be lining up in 6th for this restart with 30 laps to go, so he's got some work to do. Rhett Tucker looks like he's going to be lining up 7th.
Yeah, and it's hard to get a perspective of this. It's hard to know 100% for sure until, everybody gets rolling here. But, I can't thank our race director, Sam Maxwell, enough for his hard work and for doing a really good job on this. This is it's a little bit of an unorthodox night tonight for him. It's a little bit out of the norm, so we appreciate his hard work.
Yeah, he has done a lot of hard work. We had to communicate a lot of this information to him, and he took it in like a champ. Sometimes it made more sense to him than it probably made to either one of us. But, we chose to do things a little bit different to mix it up tonight, and he's doing a great job handling that as these drivers now roll off the pit road. Lee Campbell, you think he's nervous on this restart on lap 31, Chris?
Maybe, possibly. He was looking pretty decent, though, there before that caution. I saw him and Chase Berry make a little bit of contact on that last restart. Both those guys did a really nice job to corral it and to keep that from being a bigger mess than what it turned out to be. Lee's a smart driver. He's a smart guy, and he's taking this top here. He doesn't want anything to do with that bottom, as I think we learned from the 2 starts before.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That is probably where you want to be as they get these drivers gridded up, and I believe we're probably going to be coming to the...
It's like they're going to wave it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably going to be coming to the 1 to go.
Yep.
This time by.
I'm willing to bet that, the pace car is pulled off, but they're just trying to bunch the field back up, and I bet that this will be the green flag here.
And this is going to be on the go of the 14 of Lee Campbell. He will decide when we go green on the outside. And like we said, it's probably a good choice based on what we've seen tonight. But it equally could be as dangerous because he could get into the wall as Lee Campbell, number 14, MPI, Gen 4 Cup car brings him to the green flag. We're starting to
Oh, no.
Scott Tompkins in the 93. Aaron Smith gets collected. Several other drivers in the top 6 get collected. Caution is out. I just saw Aaron Smith get pile drive from the back there.
First one I saw around was the 93 of Josh Ward, but yeah, it just became a track blocker really, really fast. We'll go back and see if we can take a look at what occurred.
Yeah, that was there was a lot that happened there.
Looked like Scott Tompkins. That looked like a situation where he might have spun the tires a little bit, shifting gears. A lot more horsepower in these cars now, and I think it steered to the right on him just a little bit. We'll go on board with Scott and see if we can get a look at this from his perspective. Just riding on
there was
board
another
with him.
car. I think Nathan Rogie also spun behind them. That was an unrelated incident. But yeah, I think you're right. Scott spun those tires on that restart and took a handful of cars with him.
Yeah, and I think that everybody's going to kind of get away with it. I don't think there's too much damage on anybody's car. I know some people might be a little bit upset with the inversion and then that happening, but that could have happened at anywhere at any time. And, you know, Scott's normally on his game right there. That's just a little bit of a, you know, this car is brand new, basically. As Sobzak and Aaron Smith, a couple of our favorites, along with Josh Ward, are going to pit and see if they can get a little bit of this damage fixed. Probably going to take no tires here, just filled up with fuel, or not even filled up with fuel, just get some damage fixed.
Those were two of the fastest cars we've been watching up at the front all night. Sobzak had been the leader most of the evening. He's got some pretty substantial damage on that front end. Aaron Smith's got a lot of damage on the rear end, I believe. But we will see what they can get fixed. But right out front, that leaves out our leader, Lee Campbell, in first, Austin Greer in second, Rhett Tucker in third, Chase Berry, Chris, there he is. He's lurking in fourth place now. And I told you he would be up there before we knew it. Chase, Florida driver, looks to make some noise usually in the second half of races. Tonight is no exception. So he's not going to be a guy who's shy of using that bumper if that's what's separating him between $70 and a handful of nothing. So I'll be interested to see what his level of aggression is as we move through the night. These drivers, I'm seeing a lot of radio chatter, something more than normal as Lee Campbell brings them to the green flag. Oh boy,
no.
Lee struggled on that restart, came down the track. I think we're going to stay green, though, if he can get it going. He looks like he's going to get it going. Chase Berry makes it all the way through that chaos into the lead. Rhett Tucker in second. Johnny Rapp, Chris, he's in third after early troubles with Rye Jones, his payday teammate, right behind him. And these leaders get it settled out after Lee Campbell struggles on that restart a little bit.
Yeah, what we're seeing is guys that are having a hard time putting down the throttle, putting down the gas with all these ponies they got under the hood.
Absolutely, and that is the nature of this high horsepower Gen 4 Cup car. It was a mistake initially, but the iRacing community received it in such a positive way. iRacing decided to, hey, we'll keep it, we'll give you guys what you want, and here we are. The drivers love it, but it's not easy to drive as we see Rhett Tucker really trying to catch the back bumper of Chase Berry there. Right now, Chase Berry leads, Rhett Tucker in second, Johnny Rapp in third, Rye Jones in fourth, and Andrew McGonigal in fifth after some early race troubles. That's a lot of what I'm noticing, Chris. A lot of guys who had trouble early on in the race have worked their way back up to the front, now on lap 35 of 60 with just 25 laps left before the checkered flag flies. They've mainly kind of single filed out, but we do have a couple battles right now. Looks like Austin Greer working underneath Tony Hilbrens for the 8th position.
Yeah, what I'm seeing
and here, drivers get into the wall.
Yeah, a lot of damage on a lot of cars right now, and obviously this is a short track, so it's not going to affect you as badly as it would on another track, but also having all this extra horsepower as Austin Greer makes a nice save off of turn 2 right there. All this extra horsepower just means that is kind of negated on a track like this just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Aaron Smith.
3-wide battle right here between Scott Tompkins, Austin Greer.
Yes, Scott Tompkins. I'm getting those yellow cars confused.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that was done on purpose by Scott, knowing him. I bet he was just hoping with a little bit of extra luck, with that yellow paint scheme with these cars.
But hey, the luck did not prevail as we saw in that last restart. I'm seeing Aaron Smith right now, back in 15th, really struggling. I think his car's got a lot of damage. He's riding the wall pretty good. I don't know if he's upset with the way his car is handling or not. But you can see just by the looks of it, that car it's seen some stuff tonight as he was involved in that lap 31 pileup with the leaders caused by Scott Tompkins. Had a little bit of tire spin on that restart. Right now, lap 41. Chase Berry still your leader. Rhett Tucker second. Johnny Rapp third. You think Rhett Tucker saved anything? You think he's going as hard as he can?
It's hard to say. We can put up some speeds here, some last lap speeds, and we can see that Berry and Tucker that time were pretty close to each other. Oh man! Oh no!
Oh, Tucker! This is
not the burnout competition.
Johnny Rapp gets his left side. Wow!
Oh no!
Oh no! That is a hard hit for Rhett Tucker. That is going to bring out the caution. Johnny Rapp not pleased with Rhett Tucker there.
Can we please get an update on Rhett Tucker? Can we please get an update on Rhett Tucker?
Man,
that was a hard hit. We'll go back and we'll take a look at it. This all started right here. It's like he pitched it sideways on the entry of that corner. The two of them come together. And I don't know if that was anything that was intentional.
No, I don't think Rhett ever got full control of the car.
Yeah, I just think that was just a really, really bad situation. We can watch it from Johnny's perspective here. Oh, and they make a little bit of contact there. Get going again. And Rhett's still loose, and yeah, that was... I don't think that was anything intentional. I just think that was I think that was a racing deal more than anything.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny expected Rhett to come back down on him, but I don't think that was a block or anything. I think Rhett just never really regained control after that drift through the corner. So I don't know. Maybe he thought he was back in the burnout contest. It looks similar to something he did there, but man, yeah, we need a welfare check on Rhett after.
This is not what you want to see coming at you at all.
This is definitely not what you want to see coming at you. All right, so where that leaves us, we are on lap 43 of 60 laps tonight. Right now, Chase Berry is your leader. Johnny Rapp, after being involved in that last incident, is going to retain the second position. Does not look like he's going to get an EOL penalty for that. Rye Jones in third. And hey, Chris Pierce, who we mentioned in the pre-race, conservative driver, that clean driving has helped him work his way up to the fourth position tonight. Looks like Aaron Smith, I'm looking at Aaron Smith, he is a lap down on the track as he comes to pit road right now. Let's see, Scott Tompkins right behind Tony Hilburns. Brady Powers running fifth, having a good solid run tonight. He's up 7 positions. Hey, Chris Pierce is up 12 positions. And Chris, what I'm noticing looking at the leaderboard right now, our leader started 15th. Okay. Johnny Rapp, I'm looking for that. They're all disappearing on me now. But Johnny Rapp is a big mover as well. He started in the 10th position. Rye Jones started in the back as well. So a lot of these guys who started in the back have worked their way up now to the lead with a lot of patience. I'm sure there was some contact made along the way. We know with Rye Jones and Johnny Rapp, they got in that first caution early on in the race. But they've done a great job to rebound tonight. Right now, it's a payday racing top 3 as they come to the 1 to go, Chris.
Yeah, and all eyes are going to be on this restart right here. We know what has transpired on all of the restarts tonight. We've seen a lot of tire spin. We didn't see it on the initial start, at least not as, in causing any incidents, but we've seen it since then, and it's going to be interesting to see if these guys have learned their lessons from these initial restarts.
Absolutely. Chase Berry, the control car, chose that outside. Pace car pulls off. Green flag. Berry goes. Rapp spins his tires a little bit, but he gets it going. Rye Jones is going to slide right back in. No harm, no foul. These guys can get it going. Nice clean Brady Power slides up the track a little bit. But right now, Chris Pierce up to second with a great restart. I'm not sure, we might have some incidents on the track. Just trying to look back a little bit. Everyone looks like they've gathered it up okay. Caution is out. And as we mentioned, caution laps do not count.
Yeah, it looks like the 42 of Paul Thomas here. We'll go back and see what happened to Paul. Oh, a little bit of contact right there from Sobzak. And Paul does a really nice job of keeping it out of any other cars or any other walls.
Yep, absolutely. Great job by Paul Thomas there. Having a good solid run, staying on the lead lap. I believe was in the 12th or 13th position before that last incident. So Paul doing a great job out on the track. And right now, man, this leads us with about 16 laps left in this race. I'm just trying to look through the field and see Lee Campbell.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You mentioned it before on that, last restart. One guy that everything worked out really well for him is this guy right here, the number 25, Chris Pierce. He restarted on the outside, and we saw how, it just seems like the people who restart on the inside are at a severe disadvantage tonight. You open yourselves up for a lot of tire spin, and obviously with the racing line being up against the wall like it is, it'd be interesting to see if Chris Pierce can maintain that track position now that he's probably going to restart on the bottom on this next restart.
Yeah, so that is going to be interesting with these cars rolling the top, what that 25 can do, because I think that was part of the way, like you said, he made his way around a couple cars by being on the outside. Johnny Rapp now going to be starting third. Rye Jones is going to be the car to keep the eye on, probably in fourth place, to see if he can capitalize on being the second car on the outside. Right now it's Chase Berry, Chris Pierce, Johnny Rapp, Rye Jones, Tony Hilbrans, Brady Powers still having a good run tonight, Austin Greer in seventh. And as these drivers work their way around the no caution laps counting, is kind of throwing my timing screen off right now. But it looks like Austin Greer right behind Brady Powers. Scott Tompkins sitting in the 8th position, it looks like. Scott Tompkins in 9th, rather. Lee Campbell in 10th. Nathan Rogie, an eventful night, but he's up 6 positions on the evening. So Nathan doing a good job managing to work through adversity, as we've seen a lot of these drivers doing tonight. Pace car lights come off, which means we are 1 lap away from the restart. It's going to take us about 16 laps to the finish. I don't think we're done with cautions tonight, especially considering what is on the line, $70 to the driver who crosses the finish line first tonight. Hey, if you're in the chat, as we work our way towards the green here in about half a lap, let us know who you think is going to win this race. Who's it going to be? Barry, Pierce, Jones, Rapp, Powers, maybe somebody else? Chase Berry going to bring him to the line here. 16 laps left to go in the Slingshot Racing All-Star Race. Berry goes. Pierce struggles a little bit on the inside. Rye Jones taking advantage of that outside. We already got wrecking going on behind these guys. Another caution is out. Looks like the 94 of Andrew McGronigle was involved.
Yeah, it looks like the 14 of Lee Campbell was also involved. We'll go back and we'll see what happened. Oh, no. I think it's another situation of, this extra horsepower shifting through the gears is just a little bit tougher tonight. And
that collected Aaron Smith as well.
Yeah, we're also going to need an update on Lee Campbell as well. A couple of really hard hits into the end of the wall there. That's unfortunate. This was looking like it could be a really good night for Lee after the the inversion where he drew the lead. We're going to watch this from Andrew McGronigle's perspective.
And he had a great perspective of it.
Yeah, I really would not want to be in this position right here. Coming to the green. Shifting up through the gears. It's like going to 4th gear, possibly. Got Mr. Lee Campbell in a little bit of trouble as, you mentioned it, Aaron Smith. I think that's probably going to do him in for the night.
I think you're probably right. We've seen a lot of guys struggle with getting up through the gears and tire spin on these restarts, and we're probably not done with it. We made our way through the first 3 quarters of this race pretty quickly, Chris, but like we mentioned, as we get down to the wire, as the laps click off and we get closer to that checkered flag, drivers start seeing red a little bit more. Maybe they start seeing the finish line and the potential money that they can win a little bit more. Yeah, the nerves are through the roof. Anxiety's through the roof, and these drivers, I can tell you, they're going to be getting up on the wheel these last 15 laps. Just checking through the backfield, like we said, that's probably going to finish Aaron Smith off. He's missing a hood. Paul Thomas sitting in 12th, Andrew McGonigal in 13th on pit road. Scott Sobczak has soldiered along after that mid-race incident to the 11th spot. Austin Greer sitting in 9th, Nathan Rogie in 8th. Scott Tompkins, after a couple incidents, is sitting in 7th. Tony Hilbrand's been comfortably kind of in the top 5, lurking around the top 5, top 6 all night. I know he's had some on-track contact. But hey, Chris, who hasn't had contact tonight on the track?
The only one that I can find is the number 5 of Chase Berry, and this car right here, the 22 of Brady Powers, looks really, really clean. Also, you got the 25 Chris Pierce, also looks very clean as well, as Chase Berry is going to lead them down here.
Absolutely, and I think we had some gridding issues, but our race director, Sam Maxwell, got it straightened out. Chase Berry going to bring him down to the line. 15 laps to go in this all-star race. Looks like every driver gets it going, at least on the restart this time. No one's spinning their tires too badly. Hopefully we get a good run out of this. We see Rapp in the wall. Several drivers just kissing that wall in turn 2. Johnny Rapp in the wall. Chris Pierce up there. Ryan Jones, hey, doing a pretty good job hanging tight on that inside line there in 3rd place. Brady Powers right behind him, looking for the 5th position on Tony Hilbrand's on the outside.
This is tough
but
sledding
right now,
right here.
All Chase Berry. Yeah, this is
the
this is
87's around.
Another caution is out, and I tell you who loves to see these cautions. It's probably Chase Berry.
Well, the only bad thing is that these cautions are not counting off laps. These caution laps are not being counted tonight. So we'll go back here and we'll see if we can see what happened to the 87 of Rogie. Looks like he was underneath the 81 of Tompkins here. And he was kind of fading up into a hole that really wasn't there. Scott Tompkins was coming off the corner with a run right here in the 16. We'll go on board with Scott. And
Scott just lift, and you know it's not necessarily on Scott to lift either. I think that's one of those racing incidents where a lot was happening in a fairly short period of time.
Yeah, that's if this is a points race, maybe that goes a little bit different.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe Scott shows a little bit more gratuity to the 87 and Nathan Rogie and maybe lets him slip in there. But hey, man, it's not a points-paying race. It's a money-paying race tonight. So kind of changes the game for most of these guys out there. Chase Berry still in the lead. Johnny Rapp 2nd. 3rd is Chris Pierce. 4th is Rye Jones. 5th is Tony Hilbrand. And I think, like we said, everyone on this track has had trouble tonight. And if we're looking for issues, what these drivers are struggling with, we've seen a couple things, right? We've seen drivers struggling to get up through the gears. They've struggled with wheel spin. They've struggled with maybe a little bit looseness off the corners, but I've seen a lot of guys struggling with tightness in through these corners. We've had a lot of cautions this second half, so we haven't had as much green flag racing to put some wear on those tires, but we've seen drivers struggling with pushing. So if it were me, I would definitely be getting nervous if I was on the top and I had a guy coming underneath.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it. We haven't really talked too much about the banking of this track tonight. Haven't had a chance with all the action, everything going on. But the top lane is slightly more banked than, you see where that the dash lines are on the track? It's got slightly more banking than it does down lower. And so this track has just always been one where the top lane has dominated. In real life here, I remember watching a K&N race here once where the drivers would fan out all over the track. And I think that, it's kind of hard to do that on the sim here, especially with these cars. I think iRacing probably needs to bring the setups more up to date. This car is really, really tight down below that dash line. It's just hard to make any type of ground up to pass anybody down there.
Yep, absolutely. As the pace car turns their lights off, they're headed down the backstretch here, getting ready to pull in. And we're going to have some green flag racing coming up here as Chase Berry and Johnny Rapp lead him to the green. Curious to see how he struggled with spinning his tires a little bit in a couple earlier restarts. We'll see if he's able to hang it out here. Definitely see him. He's definitely gingerly on that throttle there. Chase Berry able to get a really good start, and let's hope these drivers can kind of keep it clean here for a couple laps. Obviously, we got some guys in the wall, but hey, on these restarts at Irwindale, we've come to expect that over the last several laps.
Yeah, that 25 car's got a magnet in the right side of the. He's been glued to the wall there. It's like he just couldn't get away from it, but I think he's got it squared away now.
He's making it work, but he's got Brady Powers he's worrying about, looking like he wants to draw closer to that back bumper in the corners. I'm seeing Brady's hood get bigger and bigger in that rear view mirror of Chris Pierce, and that makes me nervous if I'm Brady Powers, or Chris Pierce rather. Tony Hilbrand's back there in the 6th position. Scott Sobczak doing a pretty good job of working back after being involved in a couple early race cautions, but right now it's all Chase Berry. His lead grows to about half a second on his teammate Rye Jones and Johnny Rapp. Chris Pierce in 4th, Brady Powers in 5th. Deeper in the field, Rogie, Thomas, and Smith all kind of running on their own back there in the 11th, 12th, and 13th position. We've got a battle heating up, though, for looks like the 6th position. Hilbrand, Sobczak, Tompkins, Ward, Greer. Throw a blanket over all of them. They're right on top of each other. Traffic jam in turn 4 there.
Yeah, and as we count the laps down here, these laps go by pretty quick. We're down to just 9 laps to go. We were talking before about how Chase Berry, these cautions were working out well for him because he had control of that top lane. As the laps go by, I guarantee you, though, he's looking at that lead that he's got, and he's thinking, please, no more cautions.
Yeah, absolutely, and Josh Ward still trying to work that inside back there in 9th position. He talked about that progressive banking. He's taking advantage of that into the corners and dive bombing some of these guys. Chris Pierce, Johnny Rapp in the wall hard. He's going to be slow. Looks like these drivers are going to get it together, maybe. Chase Berry holding his breath, just saying, guys, please don't wreck it. Please don't wreck it. He's got about a 6/10 of a second lead right now, but right back there in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Tompkins side by side with Tompkins loose. He holds on to it. My goodness. We've seen some great saves tonight. Tony Hilbrand's really pushing up into the wall. Sobczak showing him a lot of grace there. Johnny Rapp trying to forge ahead, but still he's got that mag on the right side of his car. He's really slow. Rapp back to about the 8th and 9th position after restarting a couple laps ago in the 3rd slot. Right now, Chase Berry, again, continuing to build his lead over Rye Jones, but the battle is going on really around the 5th position, 6th, and 7th position between Sobczak, Hilbrand's, and Ward. And Chris, this battle is, I think, fairly important in part because if we do get a late race caution, these guys are going to be on the 2nd and 3rd row, and anything can happen at that point.
Yeah, if a caution does come out here in the next 3.5 laps, you want to be an even number position because you want to be starting on the top. That's where all the momentum has been all night long, as we have just 3 laps to go now as Ward, Hilbrand's, and Sobczak throw a blanket over him.
Yeah, they are. I would not be surprised if we saw a caution in that very spot. Right now, the lead is kind of stayed. It's maintained. Chase Berry about 3/4 of a second.
Oh, no!
We got our caution. That's going to bring out a caution. Tony Hilbrand's looked like Scott Sobczak might have been involved in that. We're going to have to take a replay, live replay look at that here in a second. But that's going to collect Hilbrand's.
Yeah, I think that the 93 and the 92 got together in the 81. I think there was a checkup right there, and the 81 got in the back of the 92.
92 checked up, and there just wasn't any room between those guys. So Chase Berry looked like he was walking off to a win, but right now, a guy I saw fast on that last run, I kind of want to keep an eye on here for this green-white checker, Chris, is the 25 of Chris Pierce. I felt like he was making pretty good inroads with that second-place car of Rye Jones. The only problem for Pierce is he's going to be starting on the inside, but Brady Powers is going to be starting on the outside of row 2, so he might be a guy to keep an eye on. We haven't heard a whole lot from Brady tonight. I'm just looking at his car.
It's really clean.
It looks fairly clean.
Yeah, I was about to say before that action really heated up around the 5th spot. What a good run tonight Brady Powers has had, and he is going to be sitting in a really good spot on this restart. He is going to be restarting 4th, and if this restart goes like all the other ones have gone, The guy who restarts fourth, because we assume that Chase Berry is probably going to take the top like he has all night, is sitting in a really good spot because you're right on the back bumper of the leader. You can time your restart on him, whereas the guy that's restarting on the inside of the front row has to be looking to the right, worried about spinning his tires, can't gun it too hard with this newfound horsepower that we have in these cars. So I think Brady Powers is actually sitting in a really, really good position on this restart. The only thing that might be a little bit different this time is the guy who's restarting second, Rye Jones, is a teammate of Chase Berry. I wonder if there will be some communication on this restart about when Chase is going to go. Also might not be because it's money time.
Yeah, I think all bets are off. I think these guys are going to be racing it out. No teammates at this point. $70 on the line. It's the biggest prize we give away all season outside of points payoff. So
what's going to happen?
These guys are be going after it. Looks like the lights on the pace car are still on, so we've probably got about a lap and a half before we take the green in. It will be a green-white checker, and I believe we've got the green-white checkered set up for 2 tonight. So I believe the cutoff is 2. Hopefully we can finish under green. We don't have a caution in the race, but right now Chase Berry going to be leading them to the green. He is pull up right next to Rye Jones on the inside as it's on the pace car. Pull off in what looks to be the final couple of laps is green-white checkered in the Apex Energy Slingshot Racing League All-Star Race. Are we going single file restart?
I guess so. Not sure why, but we are.
Chase Berry going to get... Oh, Chase Berry gets a little squirrely on the restart here. 2 to go. Rye Jones going to drive it in hard there. We got Johnny wrapping the wall back there. Looks like everyone has kept it clean for the most part. Rye Jones looking to see if he can draw up to the back bumper of Chase Berry. Coming to the white flag in the All-Star race. $70 on the line for the winner. Chris Pierce looking like he's going to try to make a move to the inside of Rye Jones. But right now, everybody is Chase Berry's race to lose. Josh Ward looking to see if he can make a move on Brady Powers for the 4th position. Chase Berry looking to claim win number 1 of this season in the Slingshot All-Star race. $70 goes to the number 5 of Chase Berry. Checkered flag is out. Lots of cars colliding with each other at the end. I would imagine tempers are going to be pretty high at the end of this one. But Chase Berry maybe going to try to make up for the burnout. That was a bit of a struggle earlier on in the burnout contest. He's going to do a real one right now, and it's going to be for $70.
Yeah, great performance all night. Even when the race was green for a long time, Chase was the class of the field, I thought, after the inversion. I know that Aaron Smith and Scott Sobzak are probably really upset because they had a lot of speed before the inversion. But post-inversion, this guy right here, he was the class of the field all night.
Absolutely, and that inversion did change the complexion of the race. But hey, it's the All-Star race. We wanted to make it special, interesting, add a little bit of excitement to it, and I think we got that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull these drivers into the broadcast booth. We're going to hear from Chase Berry, Rye Jones, and Chris Pierce about how this race went, and give me just a second to pull them in. We're going to hear from, sorry, I'm just pulling up my standings, Chris Pierce first.
Yep. And for Chase Berry, this is his 2nd exhibition Slingshot win. He won the Clash, the preseason Clash, to start us out, and he gets another win tonight, and more importantly, he takes home the cheddar.
Chris Pierce, Ellis, and Chris in the Slingshot broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I believe I do.
All right. Well, hey, man, that was a crazy race to watch up from the broadcast booth. I would imagine it was even crazier down there on the track. Walk us through kind of that first stage. You ended up, I believe you started, I'm just looking for your starting position here, 13th, or 16th, actually. Walk us through kind of how the first 30 laps of the race went.
Yeah, so I was under the understanding, my bad, comport, because, I'm bad at strategy, always. I thought that the whole field was going to flip. So I was thinking if you're in last place, you're going to be in first.
Gotcha. So your strategy was based on kind of a misunderstanding, but it worked out for you
It did,
apparently.
yeah.
So walk us through the intensity. I noticed a lot of driver chatter going on. I wasn't able to hear everything that was being said, but you had a lot of speed towards the end of the race, and you're able to keep up with pretty much everyone other than Chase Berry. We did make the joke that the right side of your car might have had a magnet for the wall in it, as we noticed you and a lot of other drivers getting into the wall. Talks about how difficult it was to drive this car around this track tonight.
Yeah, I think kind of tail end of the race, people were getting into the wall, but I don't know if you're supposed to say it on broadcast, but I think some of it was on purpose. I think if you dive it on the outside, rub into the wall a little bit, you get the run, it's a little faster. Um, but I'm not sure if people were doing that on purpose or not.
Hey, well, there was no rule that technically said you couldn't do it. So if you figured it out, you weren't wall riding. You were just using the wall a little bit to your advantage. Hey, man, great job tonight. Did you have anything for them if there had been more laps towards the end?
I was hoping on that first restart, I got a run on the outside and I was going to get Chase. Felt like I had the speed, but just happens like that. You get cautions, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Hey, well, good run for Chris Pearson, the number 25 car tonight. We appreciate all the work you do for us with the broadcast package and how wonderful it looks. You want to plug your own services real quick?
Yeah, so everything you've seen on screen tonight, maybe except for a few custom graphics for tonight, were designed by me for Pierce Graphics. We do basically iRacing overlays, whether that's tickers, driver information, battles, that kind of thing. And everything you see on Slingshot basically is kind of what we do.
Absolutely. And how can they get in touch with you?
You can go to our website at piercegraphics.com. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you can just message me on Discord or whatever works.
Awesome. And hey, any last minute shout outs before we let you go?
Thanks to Brady Powers for hanging with me, not wrecking me when he had the chance. Great racing by Chase and Rye as well.
Awesome, man. Hey, we'll enjoy it. Congratulations on that top 3 finish. I know it's not what you want, but good performance tonight. Chris Pearson, number 25 car. Have a good night, Chris.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. All right, so you heard from the 3rd place finisher. We're going to bring in Rye Jones, the 2nd place finisher. And Chris, you're going to talk to him.
Rye Jones, this is a Slingshot Racing booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, man, we saw you all night long. Early on in the race, you and it looked like your buddy Johnny Rapp ran into a little bit of trouble early on. Talk us through like how that first stage, your mentality after that early incident sort of, changed the way, you approached the rest of the night.
Honestly, I was so irritated that happened on lap 1. I was like, I don't even know if I want to race the rest of this race because I didn't know how things were going to turn out. But I've tried to learn from my past. Just all right, let's just run. I know we're going to get a caution at least halfway, and I didn't have even after that. Like, I still didn't have that bad of a car. Like, me and Johnny were pulling away from the leaders, even though we were stuck way there in the back, and I don't know. I don't know. We were just here having fun. I've never raced here before. Literally bought the track here on iRacing right before I got on, so that made things very interesting. And then you also have to add in this Gen 4 car that has this tremendous amount of horsepower compared to what we're used to. So it really feels on the rails pretty much every corner you go into, and it was just so hard to pass. So basically the whole mentality of it was if you can get up front, you stay up front, and it was kind of hard to get there. I ran into a handful of incidences getting to that point, but it honestly just kind of came down to a little bit of luck and just avoiding some carnage. And we kept having those restarts at the end, and you had to be on the outside. Like, you had to be on the outside to prevail, and I just got the right amount of cautions to get that outside line. And then being the short track rules on iRacing, if you would tend to go, it's a single file restart. So that ended up working in both mine and Chase's favor. And I was talking with Chase. I was like, man, if I could get a win, I'd rather win a points race. And he's like, well, I want to win this race. And I said, okay. And so I wasn't really concerned about winning this race. I know it means a lot to him, and definitely well deserved for him, and I'm just glad everything worked out the way it did.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned restarting on the outside. That was one thing that we talked a lot about tonight. It seemed like the restarts were crazy. You brought up the horsepower. How sketchy were those restarts coming up through the gears with the tire spin tonight?
So I don't know about everybody else, but what we did was you have to start in third gear, and it kind of helps roll better. But even in third gear, especially on that bottom line, there's just absolutely no grip, and a lot of times you'll spin the tires down there. I don't know what it is. Like I said, first time I've ever been here, so I don't really know much about this track, but it's just there's no grip down there, and so even in third gear, getting a launch you have to be tedious with the pedal, or else you're just going to lose a lot of momentum on the start. But on the outside, you're kind of able to roll it like a dirt track and get it going. And that's kind of just how it prevailed the whole night. So anytime that we could get a start on the outside, I was confident in myself it would be fine. And I around halfway through, right before the invert, I made contact with somebody. I got loose and came down on him, and then I smacked the wall, and I actually got engine damage, and so I had to pit right before like they did the invert, and it was just luckily it was only like 20 seconds of required damage, and I was like, all right, I got to do this real quick, and I went back around in time for the invert to stay on the lead lap and everything, and it cut my engine power a little bit, and so that kind of helped me roll the corners easier, so that made that high line work even better for me. And so when that happened, I was just able to roll, and even then I wasn't looking for the win. I was just looking to get a good finish, and I did.
Well, hey, man, you overcame a lot of adversity from the very first lap of the race, battled back, stuck with it, and did a really nice job tonight. Any shout outs that you want to give before we let you go?
Well, I got to thank you guys, as always, putting on a great show. Glad to finally be a top three again. It's been a while for me, but I'm glad to be back here to be proud of this league that we have. And I got to thank, Randy and Johnny, and then Chase, of course. Congrats to him winning. And just have a lot of fun with y'all. And I'm looking forward to another, points race next week. And hopefully I can come out with a win.
All right, man. Well, hey, that's Rye Jones, your second place finisher tonight. Congratulations, Rye. Enjoy it, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, so you heard from Rye Jones. We're going to be bringing Chase Berry, our winner, into the broadcast booth in just a moment. All right, Chase Berry, driver of the number 5, Florida man. You are $70 richer tonight. This is the Slingshot booth. It's Ellis and Chris. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. Hell yeah.
Finally, we had talked a little bit about with your teammate Rye how important this race was for you just to come out, and you've had maybe a struggle a bit in the season so far, but $70 goes a long way towards making all that go away. Talk to us a little bit. Boy, first of all, was it crazy out there tonight, or was it crazy?
It was no, it was pretty chill. Actually, everybody minded P's and Q's and everything. No, it was nuts. Like it was nuts. No, like you couldn't really pass. It was just one lane and just hoping and praying. I know Scott and Ryan was like, "Hey, how do you drive the track?" I don't know, just hope and pray, really. And
we heard some folks were using the wall a little bit to their advantage, maybe using it to change the direction of the car a little bit. We didn't notice you doing that as much, but we kept on hearing every lap you could hear someone getting into the wall. So talk us through a little bit about, we know you ran towards the back the first half of the race, the inversion. Talk to us a little bit about how that particularly played out with you, but also kind of the reaction on the track. I noticed a lot of chatter in the race chat tonight. First of all, were there a lot of tempers on the track?
Not really. Actually, like it was probably one of the non-tempers race that I've been a part of.
Well, that's good.
Usually I'm the one pissing people off, so I mean nobody was yelling. So for the most part it's pretty good.
Good.
But okay, so when everybody pitted on that caution like 15 whatever, it's like, all right, I'm gonna come down, take tires. All right, and then came down. I'm like, oh shoot, I missed my pit stall. Drove by the pits and then came on the track and said, oh, EOL for exit pit road. Like, dog it. And then somehow I was in 8th, and then we told the caution came out wherever to center stage, and the 14 got by me, and I keyed up, and I even told, and I'm on both. I was like, oh, I'm so unlucky, man. Watch it. I'm gonna give up eighth. And it's gonna be 8, and it's gonna be inverted, and I'm gonna be the first car back. I'd be dang, it was the 8th, and I was the first car that didn't get inverted. So I was like, oh, that sucks. But it all worked out, man. They wrecked, and I drove right through the middle of it.
Yeah, we noticed that at that restart, you were definitely the biggest gainer in terms of making it through it and avoiding a lot of that
I got
stuff.
a 0 wrecks on the night. Like, I didn't even touch the wall.
That was impressive.
I was proud of myself.
We were proud of you. A lot of drivers, Aaron Smith and Scott Sobzak, who were fast early in the night, got caught up in trouble. You were able to avoid most of that all evening. Hey, congratulations, man. You drove a great race. You got any shout outs for anybody before we let you get out of here and go spend that $70?
Yeah, I get to go. I might actually get to go to Sebring now. This is the money to pay for gas to get there, I think.
Well, let's get you about half a tank.
I don't know. I'll probably break down halfway I get there. But anyways, thank you guys for putting it on. I know you guys were broadcasting really good. Johnny and Ryan for helping out a lot. Believe it or not, I was putting them in spots on the restart to help me. I mean, granted, one of us would have wanted to been fine, but I was definitely.
You're the puppet master.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, Randy, Justin, Chris Holm, I finally got to win one for Bucci, all the boys, all the good stuff. So yeah, finally actually get a legit win instead of the darkness coming out. Oh, I'm 2 for 2, man.
Full brightness, 2 for 2 in the exhibition races.
Yeah, and the money. You just need, every race needs to be money here on out. I might actually have a shot.
Yeah, we're gonna take driver dues up to $50 a piece, and we'll tell them it's because of you.
All right.
All right. Congratulations, Chase Berry, in that number 5 car. Go spend your $70. Enjoy it, my friend. Have a good evening.
All righty, toodles.
Toodles. All right. So you heard from the driver of the number 5, the winner of the Slingshot Racing All-Star race tonight. Took home $70. He said he's going to use it on gas to get to Sebring to catch. Who's race at Sebring? Is that Trans Am, or is that's IndyCar doesn't run there, do they, Chris?
No, that will be the IMSA, the 12 hours of Sebring.
Yep. 12 hours of Sebring coming up. Is it this weekend?
I honestly cannot remember, but if it is this weekend, this could not have come at a better time for Chase Berry.
Absolutely. So it felt like 12 hours at some points tonight with the amount of cautions we had. But hey, that was the nature of the short track race for $70. That's the nature of the inversion of the field. And we just wanted to have fun tonight. Chris, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun watching this race here at Irwindale Speedway, whether it was the beginning, whether it was that middle restack inversion of the field, or it was the chaos that we had towards the end. I think it delivered everything that we thought it was going to deliver tonight, which was a good bit of chaos, but also some good racing mixed in there as well.
Yeah, I think these guys delivered tonight. They put on a really good show, and I hope that they had fun. I know that some guys who are typically up near the front, they ran into a little bit of trouble after the inversion, so I know they're probably a little bit upset about that, but hey, it's a new week next week when the Cup Series and the Truck Series return to our social media channels. Make sure that you tune in and check them out. I know that the Truck Series is at Watkins Glen, and I think that the Cup Series, are we at Austria in the Cup Series next week?
We are. We are.
Uh-oh. I'm afraid Ellis is breaking up on us.
Ring in Austria. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right, it is road course week, as you mentioned. We are heading to the unnamed energy drink road course in Austria, the unnamed energy drink ring in Austria. We're just kidding. We know it's the Red Bull ring, but we've got great partners in Apex. We like to respect. So, but it's going to be a lot of intense racing. Whereas tonight was a lot of fun and maybe over driving and just having fun with those cars. Next week is going to be a whole new ball game. It's going to be all about precision, Chris. On Tuesday night, like you mentioned, the Cup Series is headed into Austria for that very hilly, terrainy road course. And the trucks are headed into the very technical but high-speed road course at Watkins Glen. So Those are going to be 2 fun races to watch. You can catch those on Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Time on our Twitch and YouTube channel, as well as Facebook Live. You can find us at slingshotracing.org. And hey, if you tuned in on Twitch tonight, or you haven't watched us on Twitch, check it out, join the chat, and give us a follow. Help grow our channel a little bit and connect our drivers with more viewers. Anything, words of wisdom before we depart for tonight, Chris?
Just that I think it was a really good night of racing. Really enjoyed watching these guys do something a little bit different tonight in these high-powered Cup cars. This is not a track that the Cup Series races at in real life, but it is I always enjoy watching racing here on the short track local level, and I think that these guys did a really nice job with all that horsepower that they had tonight, considering this is basically a brand new car for them.
Absolutely. So great night of racing. We tore up some cars, but we'll be back next week for the regular season, second half of the Apex Energy Cup Series and Truck Series. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Until next week,